Minnie.
Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing great.
Lovely meeting you directly now.
How are you doing?
Very well. We're very well. We've been delaying with our start a tiny little bit to allow more participants to enter the room before we start. Just to let you know, that's why we are waiting.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining early. You joined way before your time.
Thank you so much.
Looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
So you're both in the US right now, correct? So what's the time right now at your place?
It's past 8 a.m.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, we in the same time zone. I think King is in New York. I'm in Boston.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. So Dr. Jiang, you'll be speaking in the next 17-18 minutes.
Yeah.
Ruth, I think you might step in with your introduction. Then we can take it from there.
Right. Thanks, Gilly.
So Dr. Jiang, for now, we can both take off our video so that Ruth will just do a quick intro. Then later I'm going to introduce you. Right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, this is, are you switching off the camera? Okay, confused. Okay. Anyway, so a very warm welcome to the Career Summit 2024 from our side. So the future of work in an AI-driven world, that's the topic of this year's career event. Just a quick introduction from my side. So the rise of artificial intelligence and machine learning in recent years is rapidly changing the way we work. So views on the impact of AI on employment, like views on AI more generally, thereby reflect the long-standing narrative of technological disruption, which is in a way polarized into techno-optimism and techno-pessimism. So there's on the one hand side the positive expectations, on the other hand side the fear of what's going to happen, or accompanied by technological advance, just as so many examples in history is telling us. So history really provides a long series of such examples, including technological breakthroughs like even, the steam engine, something that Joseph Schumpeter called destructive innovation by the time. So really a disruptive innovation that leads on the one hand side to the demise of established industries, but creates or catalyzes the creation of new industries and therefore a wealth of employment opportunities which simply didn't exist before. And if we look at the ICT revolution now, that began in the late 20th century, and in particular the expansion of the internet, we can see that life today is thoroughly permeated by ICT, bringing with it, well, we all know about it, all the advances and the challenges we are dealing with. Experts now believe that the technological change brought about by AI will be even more profound and bigger than the change brought about through the internet. So once again, the expectation is that we will see the displacement of a set of then outdated skills and jobs, and at the same time the creation of new ones. I think we referred to it on the flyer already, the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report that was published early this year highlights, again, also this dual nature of AI's impact, saying that while 85 million jobs could be displaced by automation already by 2025, so next year, an impressive 97 million new roles are expected to emerge, reflecting a shift in the division of labor, again, between humans, machines, and algorithm. So this year's Career Summit will focus on the changing job market and the skills needed to navigate the AI revolution. We are very grateful and excited to have really a huge group of top-tier experts speaking about that today and tomorrow. and engaging in discussions within their panels with us and with the broader audience. So all of you participants out there. In the second part of the event, so on 2 days next week, those attendees who are interested will get the opportunity to receive individual feedback on their online profiles, on CVs, etc. And this is Dr. Kene Ikuwaku and myself, Ruth Knoblich. And I think it's 4 years now, Kene, right? Since we started this journey of setting up these workshops. Actually, at the beginning it was workshops, employability workshops, and that idea quickly expanded into comprising career summits with a constantly growing attention and excitement among both. So the experts that are kindly supporting us, as well as the attendees. With this series, we are aiming at offering support in career pathfinding and building networks between the African continent or among Africa and over to, on the one hand side, Germany, Europe, and beyond. So, and that, of course, with the idea to primarily close the gap between academia and the job world. So these workshops, all of them looked slightly different. One key element is that one part of it relies on the structures that the German Academic Exchange Service brought in, so alumni structures. So alumni who are well established in the world of work and kindly sharing their expertise and also their networks again to those who are following. Briefly about me, perhaps. My name is Ruth Knoblich. Since 4.5 years now, I'm working as a DAD lecturer at the DAD-funded South African German Center for Development Research at the University of the Western Cape in Cape Town, South Africa. In my own research, I'm focusing on policies, law and regulation of science, technology, and innovation. And that, of course, also involves the rise of new technologies. And that ties into what I do as a lecturer as well. So that all ties nicely together. And as a third element, there also comes in what the DAD otherwise does. It's about building and managing higher education cooperation and research between, right now here around me, the African partners and Germany and Europe. And this is why, or what brings me now to the DAD and what the background is there. So the Academic Exchange Service, the DAD or DART, as most of you may know it, is the world's largest funding organization for international exchange of students and researchers. So it's about scholarships. I think this is what primarily people may think of when they think about the DAD. So the DAD running a specific series of programs about mobility, bringing people to Europe, but also supporting inter-regional mobilities, like different schemes to support mobilities within Africa, for instance. And at the same time, as I mentioned, the DAD supports higher education cooperation and institution building, like the centers of excellence here on the African continent. Yeah, so just as a final note, we are grateful to the DAD's financial support through the DAD Lecturers Program. This allows us to establish this series of career summits. And thanks to all of you participating, because you are forming part of the momentum, or you are creating actually the momentum of this series. And of course, thank you to all the speakers who are as excited as we are and willing to share their expertise, experiences, and insights. And thanks to UWC, and on a personal level there to Graham Julies for setting up all technological infrastructure and for accompanying our event to make sure that technology doesn't fail. So I'm looking very much forward to a fruitful event, and hand over to you, Kene. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ruth. Once again, everyone, you're welcome to this exciting event. Ruth has actually laid a very solid foundation as to what we are about to do. Some of you are scared of what is happening in the labor market. Companies are laying off as automation takes shape. They are replacing workers with AI. And so you're wondering what would my future be like, right? And we understand that we stand at the cusp of a technological revolution that will fundamentally change the way we live, the way we work, and the way we relate to one another. Ruth has actually spoken about that very well. Our aim here is actually to be able to equip you with knowledge, with skills, with understanding that would help you to be able to thrive in this emerging world. And so we've been able to assemble together top-tier experts in this field to be able to inspire you, to be able to instruct you, and hopefully help you to be, and you build also network so that you'll be able to and actually make the most of this opportunity, because we know that the AI revolution is going to bring about tremendous challenges, but also tremendous opportunities. So our aim is actually to help you to be able to harness the opportunities that come with it. Today, we are really going to be focusing on understanding the AI landscape. So we have a number of speakers. Then tomorrow will be more hands-on, where there will be skills development and things like that. So it's going to really be an exciting moment. Then we also have, of course, the individual personalized CV reviews and LinkedIn profile reviews, where you have an expert look through your CV, giving you advice on how to structure it better. But we will give more information as to that. Once again, thank you everyone for being here. We are so excited to have you, and we know that we are going to have a great time together. Now, without further ado, I think I'll probably have to now introduce our first speaker. Dr. Jiang, since he's already here, that's a bit early, but okay, let me actually speak a bit about myself. My name is Kenneth. I am an academic. I do some research with the university, but I also do the CEO of Mozisha. Basically, Mozisha wants to help, works to help young Africans prepare for work. So we train young Africans in different skills, and we help to position them in the job market. Our aim is to really provide access to dignified and fulfilling jobs for young people across the African continent, understanding that they are the real asset that we have on the continent. So I've been working on that for a while now, for about 4 years now, and that is Mozisha's mission. And of course, as you've heard, we're working with Ruth, with the DAAD lecturer program, and the University of the Western Cape and German Consulate, putting this together just to benefit you and ensure that you actually experience, that you have the tools you need to actually navigate your career in these changing times. So that is it about me. Now, let me just introduce our very special guest who is already here with us, Dr. Jiang. Once again, thank you, sir. It's an honor to have you with us. Dr. Jiang, you guys might have gone through his profile on the website. He's actually a very, very renowned expert when it comes to artificial intelligence. He got his PhD in artificial intelligence as of I think in the 1990s. Currently works as an adjunct professor in New York, still in artificial intelligence. He's also the director of the Boston Institute of Analytics, Manhattan campus. He has had tremendous impact in the various sectors, and whether it's banking, aerospace, education, sports, telecommunication. And so it's really an honor that we have him today to be with us to speak to you people. Thank you so much, sir. And so without further ado, I invite Dr. Jiang Zhou. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken, for your great introduction. And thank you, Ruth. It's my honor to be here to share my experience with data science and AI. I'm a practitioner in essence. I came to the United States in 1995 from China. I got my PhD degrees in AI in 98. Since then, I have been working with AI. Even though at that time, AI was not so popular term, but I have been using the same technologies to solve many business problems. And also, I successfully convinced my friends, kids, my nephews to become data scientists. And I firmly believe there is a bright future in the data science and the AI area, and we should never be worried about our career. May I share my screen?
Yes, I should be share screen. Yes, you can share.
Yeah, here's my screen.
Perfect.
Play it.
Yeah.
Great. So this is the title of my talk, the future-proofing your career in an AI-driven world. When we mention future-proofing, we are not talking about 2 years or 3 years. Those short term. We're talking about longer term, right? 20, 30 years. Just like I did, I started using AI to solve business problems almost 30 years ago. And I believe that for the next 30 years, we still have opportunities, or we will have greater opportunities. I will explain why. As Ken mentioned, these are a brief summary of my experience. I got a PhD from the University of Connecticut. Studying AI, I wrote a paper on neural networks and genetic algorithm. They are branches of AI, and that paper won the first place in best scientific paper. I worked for companies like banks, Citizens Banks, and Oracle. Also, in the middle, I have delivered a lot of results for business across industries. And I have won 3 competitions in delivering the best machine learning models for our clients in the United States. So I just want to share this background so that you are convinced what I'm going to say is trustable. It's coming from a practitioner. But I will start with a true story because I believe this is the essence of why we use AI at all. That was many years ago, happened maybe 20 years ago. When I worked for a high-tech company, my task was to build a credit assessment model for new mobile phone customers. In America, unlike in many other countries, if we want to get a new phone, we don't have to pay a lot of money up front. You can just carry your ID and walk into a store and show them your ID and tell the staff your social security number. Then the staff using the software will be able to get your credit report. For those of you who are unfamiliar with credit report, in America, we have 3 credit bureaus that collect our payment histories, how much money we owned, what's the total credit limits we have, how many times we are late in payments, how many times we are 30-day late, 60 late, or 90-day late in payments. And the most negative information is how many times we have bankruptcy. And most people, they don't have that bankruptcy record, but for a few percentage of them, they do have bankruptcy. So the company of the mobile phone service will assess our likelihood that once we become their customer, we will pay phone bill or not, based on the information. It used to take a long time. for an analyst to manually make that decision by reviewing the credit report. Instead, I built a machine learning model to make a decision quickly in a split second, and it will automatically generate a decision if he will likely to pay his phone bill on time. He is the best customer, A customer. He will get a free phone. If we decide he is not going to pay his phone bill in the future, we will classify him as a E customer, the worst customer, and we will charge him a hefty deposit, like $1,000. He is a E class, and there are, of course, customers between A and E. So this machine learning model I built and delivered to the client. And a few months later, I was in big trouble because of that model. A manager of that client is in California, in the United States. It's a big mobile phone company. A manager from the client sent an email to me, copied to my boss. So this is the idea of his email. In the email, he mentioned a person's credit profile. He has multiple bankruptcy record. According to their analysts, this person will not likely to pay phone bill once he become a customer, and he should be a E customer, and we should charge him a big deposit. Unfortunately, my machine learning model says he is a customer. He will pay phone bill on time. We should offer him a free phone. And the manager said the AI model was totally wrong. It's against common sense. So what do you think? Which decision is correct, made by their analyst or made by AI model? I actually asked my students this question, and most of them, they said this guy will not pay his phone bill. So what should you do if you were in that position? Maybe it's time to get a new job, right? But I observed the principle of data science. The first principle is to always use data to support your conclusion. So what I did was to look at all customers from this company in the past 2 years, millions of them, and I identified thousands of them have bankruptcies or multiple bankruptcies, just like this person. Because they are their existing customers, I was able to find out their payment history. To my surprise, it turned out that most of them pay phone bill on time, even better than average customers. The reason, I don't know why. Probably because they lost their mortgage, they don't have a house to live. They are more mobile, and they heavily depend on mobile phones to stay connected with their friends. So mobile phone service is the last thing they want to lose. Whenever they have money, they will make sure phone bill is paid. Regardless, from mobile phone service providers' perspective, they are their best customer. Once I share the findings supported by the data with the manager of the company, he was finally convinced that their belief has been wrong for decades. and data-driven AI model was correct. As a result, this company realized a lot of profit because this group of people would be otherwise rejected the mobile phone service by other companies. But this customer, they get them as their best client, and basically they uncovered hidden treasure. So what is the lesson? The lesson is that our decision made by human intuition, our experience, and the emotion are often wrong, and we are not aware of it. Unfortunately, that is the majority of business, the way to make a decision based on human beings' intuition. And this happened in many industries, in banking, in insurance, manufacturing, in sports, in education. So my job is very easy. I just go from one industry, one company, and I use data-driven AI model to help business make better decisions. I believe that's the key. Why we use AI? Because AI is artificial intelligence, right? Human intelligence that we have been depending on for thousands of years, or maybe millions of years since human beings' existence. Right? Human decision, human intelligence just doesn't work well. So it's the age to replace or complement human intelligence with artificial intelligence that is driven by data. This is our opportunity. That's why I'm optimistic about the future of people with data and AI skills, because we are helping human beings solve a fundamental question, which is making better decisions. If you think about it, there's a gap between these two components. On the left side, we have data, right? We have more and more data about our behaviors every day or every second. Every time we use our phone, we make a purchase. Even when we carry our phone and we walk around, our location, and timestamps and our purchase amount are captured. Which websites we visited are stored somewhere. On the right side, it's business insights and decisions. We need to respond quickly to the market condition changes, and we need to gain insights about business. Right? And companies are constantly looking for people who know how to work with data and use data to extract insights and decisions. Right? Just like without this methodology, we may never know that people with bankruptcy, they are best mobile phone user. So this gap, if we gain skills about data-driven AI, we can fill this gap and we will have a job. And this gap is actually widening, right? Because data is growing and business decisions are becoming more and more faster, and more decisions need to be made. So they are great. This is the area that we can survive, we can prosper, to fill the gap between the data and the decision. As I mentioned, right, companies are looking for talent who can work with data and make decisions to improve efficiency, reduce risk, and increase profitability. I work with many plants in many business. They are constantly looking for talent. They couldn't find enough of them. So if we learn those skills, particularly we learn those practical skills, how to solve a problem, not just skills, knowledge, but how to use your skill to solve a problem. The key is to solve a problem and deliver value. Then we should never worry about the job. Those are values that I actually have driven myself. Use that data-driven AI decisions. We reduced auto loan bad debt by 50%, reduced credit card fraud by 25%, increased efficiency of an educational company by 2,000%, and cut check fraud loss by 70%, and reduce worker compensation insurance claim by 40%. In combination, we are talking about hundreds of millions of US dollars. And we should be aware that data science and AI are foundational skills, just like our muscle, right? If we are strong, it helps us to do anything, right? Data science and AI are like our muscles. It helps us to solve problems in any industry. To me, I just think any industry is a data industry. Different business, just different way of producing data. Once data are collected, we adopt the same data science and AI methodologies to process them to make a better decision. So that means that with these foundational skills, we can be successful in pursuing many business applications. For example, here I draw a chart. The vertical bars are industries that I have worked with: banking, mobile phone, work compensation, healthcare, right? Entertainment, manufacturing, sports. But all of them are just different ways of producing data. And so at the bottom layer is about data. We adopt the same method, how to deal with data. Then we build AI models to make a prediction, to make decisions, and we drive outcomes, right, to help business. So with those foundational skills, you can easily work with many industries. So that broadens your career possibilities. And also the new trend is that we should leverage our tools that becomes recently available, such as ChatGPT or Google Gemini. Those generative AI are great for our lifetime learning, because technology are changing so fast. Today I'm using very different tools than 3 years ago, so we should take advantage of those tools to learn things more efficiently. As I said to my graduate student, 3 days of their learning today is equivalent of 6 months of learning when I was their age, because of those tools. And also, in the past, it may take us many months to implement a solution. With these tools, they can do the coding for us in a large part. So we have very fast implementation cycle. We can build a solution quickly and solve business problem quickly. So when we talk about the job, we should also think about become an entrepreneur, because since with AI, with those tools, we can build solutions cheaply and quickly. then it's possible that we can directly build something ourselves with very limited resources. Then we can sell them to customer and make money, right? So we may think about that. Create a job for yourself and for others. And that's another great potential, right? Don't just think about working as an employee. There are opportunities for becoming entrepreneur. I think this possibility is real with these tools. So in conclusion, I believe the future is data-driven and AI-powered. So we need to master these skills to drive business values, and then we don't have to worry about the job. And we leverage those generative AI for fast learning and for fast implementation. And also we embrace the entrepreneurship. We create job for ourselves and for others. This is pretty much my talk. I thank you all for your time and your attention. Back to you, Kenny. Ken, thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Jiang. That's really insightful. Guys, I'm sure you've learned quite a lot. You've been inspired, right? I know probably you have some questions. Please, can you, in case you have any question, can you put it down in the chat box? Then Dr. Jiang would answer them. I also have my own question, but let me give you guys space first to ask Dr. Jiang some questions. Yeah. Okay, Dr. Jiang, let me probably start. Then you do mention, you alluded to it in your presentation in terms of some of the skills that could help people. But if you are to list, these are young people who are about to enter the world of work or already in the world of work, but want to really be competitive. Can you give a list of certain skills, areas of competencies you think would help them stand out, no matter the field they found themselves in?
Yes, there are a number of skills, technical skills that are highly in demand. I would suggest we learn about SQL. It's a database programming language. The reason being that in business, data are not stored as a spreadsheet or a flat file. They are stored in a secured database environment. And SQL, structured query language, is the only way to talk with data stored in a database. There are a lot of demand for people with SQL skill. And also I would suggest that you do a lot of practical project. So work with those realistic problem from beginning to end, right? From data processing to building models and deploy your model, testing your models. So become expert in building the full cycle from data to AI model to problem solving, and be able to communicate your outcomes in business language so that average people can understand. That's important too. Not only be able to accomplish your job, you should also be able to communicate your outcomes so that people can understand. I think those skills are very important. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Now, you in your talk, you emphasize that that there AI, there should be a relationship between humans and AI, right? Human intelligence and artificial intelligence. Now, how can these workers leverage AI to complement, right? Rather that is how would you suggest they go about leveraging AI in whatever they are doing so that they're able to stand out?
Yes, human intelligence and AI, artificial intelligence, they are complementary, but I might believe that the majority of the decision, maybe 90% of them, should be automated using AI. Then for the remaining 10% of the cases, we involve human intelligence to make the final decision. This is exactly what we have been doing in many business. That way, our precious human intelligence, human resources will be focusing on 10% of the cases. So their time will be most valuable, right? Focus on those areas that need their attention. So they work together. In summary, 90% can be automated by AI, and 10% will involve human intelligence to make the final decision. By doing that, we practically increase the productivity by 10 times, right?
Okay, great.
Thanks.
Then my final question, then I'll throw it open for others, those who also have questions, is you mentioned how AI is impacting various sectors. If you had to choose two sectors that is most amenable to this impact, right? What would they be? 2 or 3 sectors you think will be most drastically affected?
Yeah, it's hard to pick two. From my experience, there are plenty of opportunities because in many industries, traditional industries, to my surprise, their methods are pretty outdated. They are using methods developed maybe 50 years ago, and many of their decisions are not rational. So, for example, you can work with financial industry or manufacturers or like utility industries. Those industries, I believe, have a lot of inefficiency. That means opportunities for us.
Great. Victor Ashton has some questions. Victor, I've given you right to speak. Can you ask your question? Then we'll move to others.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Yeah, what I just wanted to know is when it comes to data science, I know that Python is a great skill to have, but for someone who is beginning, probably who has just 2 years or 3 years as a data analyst and has mastered SQL, Excel, and probably any visualization tool, be it Power BI or Tableau, is there a need for the person to quickly rush and pick up Python? Well, Python is something you pick up probably after 5-6 years, after you've mastered SQL and the data visualization tools. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Great question. I believe you can, of course, learn Python, not in years, in 2 months or 2 weeks, you can become a decent Python programmer. We are not to become a Python experts. We use Python to solve problems, right? With tools that we have, like ChatGPT, it can write a majority of the Python code for you. And also it's a great learning tool, right? Because you can ask questions, it provides answers. Then you look at the answers and see how those code working to solve your problem. That way you can learn really fast. So everyone can learn Python regardless of your background. even from zero of foundation, we can learn anything quickly, including Python. Particularly, you are already good at the SQL, Excel, Power BI. It's the easiest thing to learn. We're talking about maybe weeks, months, not years.
Okay, thank you. Then Mishak, thank you, Aston. Mishak asked a question. Do you think it's too late for someone to go into software engineering, considering that AI is taking over?
I would say that learn both. I know software engineering is a great field, and in the past, every company, they proudly claim they are software company. Software was the king at that time, but today most companies will say they are data company. So today's data is the king. But if you know software engineers, and also you know data science, so the intersection between those two skill sets make you highly valuable. So you are in a niche, right? You are a software engineer and you are a data scientist. Actually, I'm in that role because I was hired by Oracle as a software engineer. But if you look at my background, I don't have software engineer background. The reason being that the data science skill is very valuable. With that skill, you can become data science, software engineers quickly. And if you are good in both software engineering and data science, that's highly valuable. Of course, if you are also good at the database, right? So you have programming skills, you have data science, AI skills, you have database skills, and you have business acumen. So you are the intersection of those four circles, plus you have great communication skills. So you are intersection of those 5 circles. That will make you like an elite group of people. Then that will make you highly valuable in the market.
Great. Then I think Ngusen, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, is asking, or he or she is asking about the difference between AI and data. What's the relationship between AI and data science?
That's a great question. I usually use them together because I use a knowledge to compare them. Data is like our flesh, like our body. Data is the foundation, our flesh. AI is the algorithm. It's like our soul, right? Our spirit part. One cannot exist without another, right? If you are just without AI, your data is just a pile of meat, right? There's not much life there. But with only AI, it's formless, right? It's no foundation. Like it's just the soul. By combining them, by applying AI to data, so data-driven AI, then you have something valuable. So we always use them together. There's no meanings to separate AI and data science, because AI is always applied to data. Just like the soul and the body's relationship. It may not be proper comparison, but yeah, that's close.
Then we have 2 more questions. One, I'll probably ask them together because of time. Sorry guys, we are rushing because of time, and it's the next session. First is, how can AI-driven predictive models help improve climate change forecast and help mitigate the impact of climate change? Then the second is, why should we not worry about AI when we see robots already taking over our world?
I didn't get the second question. About
Okay.
the first question, let me answer first question. Is of course, because a lot of judgment, regardless what problem, climate change or anything else, is based on humans' intuition, experience, and emotion or media impact. Right? We have all of the bias. I would suggest us to read a free book. It's called The Psychology of Intelligence Analysis. It's written by a CIA expert, Central Intelligence Agency expert. Those people, they study how human being thinks. In that book, it describes the bias in human thinking. So in climate problem, right, we may have a lot of misconcept. So with data-driven AI, we collect all the objective data. Then we can make a machine learning model or AI models. Then we may find something maybe contradictory to our belief. Who knows?
Yeah.
What's the second part?
Okay, the second part, by the way, somebody's asking for the name of the book you talked about, but the second part of the question is, why should we not worry about AI when we see robots already taking over? So there is the fear that robots taking over the world. Why should we not worry with all that is happening?
Because AI is just a tool. We use it to, if we team up with the tool, right? We make use of that tool to serve us. For example, I used to write a lot of Python SQL code myself, taking me hours. Now taking me 5 minutes to write the code. Then I'm not competing with ChatGPT in writing the code. I ask question now. My job is asking question. So AI is helping me. So by the same way, just like farmers, right? Many years ago, 98% of people are farmer. But then with industrialization, we become like only 2% of people are farmer. And then we are busy with other things. The same is true. We used to be a coder. Today, being a coder may not add value. Then we become a problem solver. This will never expire, right?
Okay, good. And the final question, the name of the book you talked about?
Oh, it's a Psychology of Intelligence Analysis. Psychology of Intelligence Analysis.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Dr. Jiang, thank you so very much, sir, for taking out time out of your very busy schedule. I know how busy you are running multiple businesses, influencing the world of AI, but you've taken out time to actually speak to us, to engage with you. We appreciate and we say thank you.
Thank you, Ken. It's my honor to be here. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you, everyone.